The following podcast is an enticing media production. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You are now socially obligated to pour yourself a drink, and welcome to The Drunk Squirrel.
I was like, oh dear, this is going to be an episode.
You swore. I didn't.
I used the big one.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, whoa.
That's what she said.
Well, yeah. Whoa.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We're recording.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So,
What?
yeah.
9. I don't know what.
It's 9:45. It is 9:45.
All right. And
AM.
We already 9:45 a.m. Not
It's
p.m.
5 o'clock in Prague. That's
We've
when in doubt. It's 5 o'clock in Prague.
we've had
Always.
some drinks. I mean, at this point, we talked about what we were gonna drink, and we thought about coffee. And since I was up at 5 a.m., I've had a gallon of coffee already, so that was unnecessary.
Yeah, wait a minute. I don't think anybody was thinking about coffee. I mean,
no mentioned coffee.
Yeah, but
I
she
did.
already had all the alcohol out with a drink idea in mind, and it's like, okay, so here's the drink I was thinking. Unless you want,
It's true,
Coffee.
because she was like,
Yeah.
just in case you assholes want coffee, we can do that, or you can be a man and drink this.
right? It's only 9
Pretty much
o'clock.
what she said.
Have some whiskey.
I should have approached it that way. I'm disappointed in myself.
So anyway,
So yeah, I guess we kind of broached that. What are we drinking, Nell?
yeah, Nell's gonna have to describe this because
Okay.
I don't know that she made this up. But
No, I did
she
not
did
make it up.
Find this.
It's a twist on a... Is it called a lime Ricky? Is that what they're called? Like,
Why are you looking at us like
I don't
we
know. I don't...
You're the one that scoured the internet for this.
So it's called a bourbon Ricky, and I think it's a take on a lime Ricky, like a limeade type thing, but with bourbon. So it's bourbon, fresh lime juice, and club soda. What we found is that you might want to add some sort of sweet substance, like a simple syrup or honey.
Maybe not
don't
honey.
Maybe not honey with ice, because you know what happens to liquid things when they get cold.
Rob and I came up with a good solution to this. We just added more bourbon,
Yeah.
and the bourbon of choice today is Woodford. So
Yep.
Yes.
because we had a full bottle,
Thank you to Woodford for not sponsoring this episode.
but you could.
Reach out.
Yep. Full bottle past tense.
I feel like this is interesting because after we had our episode last week where we were completely
You know, I have
annihilated?
to say, I have to say, I noticed you didn't let me make the drinks today.
Crazy
okay,
reason.
let's spend 2 minutes and talk about that.
Oh, gosh.
So
I'm going to preface. I asked, do you want me to measure the shots? Nope.
You always say no.
sure. So last episode, I want to say last week, but these episodes, it's not live. So last episode, Rob and I, talked about what we were going to drink, right? So there's a gap I'm going to have to edit out, I guess. Rob and I talked about what we were going to drink. We had no plan. And he's like, well, what do you got? And I'm like, well, we have private stock, Captain Morgan. He's like, we haven't had that in a while. And it was one of the earlier episodes in the year that we had private stock. So Rob starts making a drink. And he says, do you want me to measure these shots? I'm like, we don't measure shots. Like, what the hell are you talking about? We had half a bottle of private stock. Rob made 2 drinks. When he was done making those 2 drinks, we had no private stock. The bottle was empty.
How large were your glasses?
Not large.
They were the drunk squirrel glasses.
Oh, those are unassuming.
The regular, the tumblers.
Yeah.
They're very
that
unassuming.
Rob had made
Yeah.
before we started this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like now that you're talking about tumblers, by the way, either you're going to introduce us or Mel and I are going to introduce ourselves
Hello.
on this episode.
All right, Rob, I'll let you do the honors.
Yeah. Okay. So today, Kenny and I are definitely perfectly safe and okay. No harm has been threatened. We are here of our own free will.
We
Really?
paid them a lot to say that.
Are we?
Did.
They gave us bourbon to say that.
Yeah. But anyway, we are sitting in with our wonderful producer, Nell. I have not been held hostage and forced to say this. I swear, this is of my own free will.
I swear, he gave me a Christmas ornament that says "World's Best Boss."
It was the Dunder Mifflin mug.
Oh, I never watched The Office.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to have to move on from that one. That
Okay.
one just hurts. And then Melinda, my wife,
Hello.
And yeah, we're sitting in having a conversation on. Kenny and I are calling this we've been called into the producer's office.
Well, I feel like this time of year, a lot of businesses and organizations have their what are we doing in 2024 discussions. And I thought, you guys have a podcast. We're going to do this discussion. Why not record it? And have people listen in on the discussions. What is it like planning for a podcast in 2024?
Yeah, especially what is it like planning for this podcast in 2024? Because
say,
we don't do a lot of planning.
I was going to say, we have a plan?
I mean,
I think the plan normally is, what are we drinking?
That is the plan.
And then people just show up.
Who might be on, and
what are we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Yeah. Well, if you want to continue to grow, and this is me putting my business hat on, if you want to continue to grow, we need to focus more on social media and blah, 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 blah. And you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned the Drunk Squirrel mug.
Yeah.
Which I feel like could translate into dun, 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 merch.
Ooh.
Well, so we have had some level of conversation in the past about even starting a Patreon. And
yes.
Hey, if you're a patron, here's your mug.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And different levels where, are you buying a shot or are you buying a round for the whole bar?
Right.
And we'll send you a mug. And I did some experimenting with laser printing and a local company on that last year and just haven't done much with it since.
I mean, and a local company doing some printing sounds like a fabulous idea for a partnership.
It does. I mean, we could even have them on in the future at some point, but I mean, it would be...
Whoa, Jesus.
Sorry, that comes with strings, right?
I mean, yeah. Life would definitely come full circle at that point.
What do you wait? Hold on. I feel like there's something going on in the background here that I'm not picking up on.
We're not talking about it on the podcast.
Okay.
But no, I mean, we could do some merch that is like the mugs or stickers or I don't know. I mean,
certainly some the stickers I feel like are in order.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, first and foremost, right? Because that's super easy to get accomplished. And we could stick them places. We could stick them places. That came out really poorly.
We're gonna stick up.
Should that be should it say the Drunk Squirrel? We're gonna stick this places.
Yes, it should.
On the
That
sticker,
would be awesome.
we stick these places.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
We can expand further and
Go stick this somewhere.
go stick. Yes,
It's perfect.
Oh my gosh,
Oh man.
that's idea one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't expect that one to be where we were going and being in the
Sorry.
producer's office today.
No,
my
definitely,
head is just constantly
definitely not. But yeah, I mean, so you have all four of us today. You have myself, Kenny, and Rob. And hi. You have our producer extraordinaire, Nell.
Hi.
And you have Rob's wife, Mel, not to be confused with Nell.
That is true, yes.
And actually, real quick for clarity, because we talked about this last episode, your Christmas tree is getting decorated.
Yes. So that is kind of what brought this episode together. And if you listen to the last episode, you'll kind of catch it towards the end. We started talking about this, and Rob sent a text, and that's where this came from.
Yeah. So
You left us unattended with alcohol and microphones. You have no one to blame but
With
yourself.
alcohol,
true.
that Rob was making the drinks.
It's
by
That's
the way.
right.
The most dangerous thing you could ever do.
Very much.
Yeah, well, what was that? When we had the episode with Jeremy, you learned, I can't keep pace with Rob.
Oh,
Yes.
my word.
Yes, because I ended
Mel's
up
like, what?
passed. I
What
ended up.
happened?
This is what happens when I don't come here.
I ended up passed out on the sofa.
It wasn't even just a passing out, like a normal one. You were literally in a yoga position. That I can't even describe. I gotta find somebody's got to have a photo of that. I don't know if it's you or Jeremy. I don't have one.
Did he come down and see it?
Yeah,
Yeah, we all came down and saw it.
All right, so then we have to ask Jeremy if he has a photo of it.
I think I
don't
also
think I do.
I think I do.
I guarantee you.
I have to check.
I
That would
guarantee
be
you,
amazing.
I don't because I was passed out.
Yeah.
I mean, you were buried under pillows, and you just see your feet sticking out. I was like, okay, either Nell murdered him while we weren't watching, or he just passed out.
I can't murder him yet. I still need him for like co-hosting and stuff.
I'm not-
So.
Yeah, you were trying to fire him on Thursday, though.
It's not my proudest moment, but
He told me I sounded like my mother. Who says that? Like that, those are fighting words. Like, don't ever tell your wife that she sounds like her mother, especially on worldwide radio.
Yikes.
That
Yeah,
was
no.
firing material. Just an FYI. I'm not over it.
Okay.
Can you tell?
no, I can't tell at all.
Kenny, I've done the same thing when I'm not going to speak anymore. I'm being glared at. But I have just said, okay,
please
Linda, and a piece of my soul dies.
But not
Yeah.
on like worldwide radio or anything
Because I've
like
never
that.
been
or
given the
recorded.
opportunity to say it on worldwide radio.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine.
We're not going to give you that
I love you.
opportunity, but we'll give you an opportunity to be on worldwide radio if you should so choose.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
it's your show.
You
But,
have to talk about travel, but yeah.
well, I mean, we do Disney. We love Disney.
Yeah.
So you can come on and talk about Disney.
Ooh, I just got a great idea for shows because we know like 3 people that do Disney, and I would love to do like a Disney series and how differently everybody does it.
Oh, that would be
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because everybody
yeah.
does it so differently.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
I
that'd be
love
okay.
that.
See, this is the whole point of a planning/strategy session.
Yeah,
And then we can reach
which
out
is-
to them and see if they want to sponsor the show.
Which is
Disney?
great because
Yeah.
oh,
Let's go
Yeah.
for it.
ooh, drunk squirrel on location, drinking around the world.
Yes.
Anyway.
Drinking and eating. And eating.
Yes,
Right,
always
eating.
with food.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Okay,
We won't make it
Epcot.
past Texas and the margaritas.
Wait, what?
I love you,
Margaritas in
Mother.
Texas.
Okay, so when we did
And he
Disney,
just got up and left the room.
yeah,
He's done, apparently.
He's like, I'm out. You guys are talking about Disney. I'm done.
no, not quite. I think he had to pee.
Oh my. Okay.
No, but last time we did Disney, I love you, Mother. You know, the rest of the families moved on, and like me and my sister and our families were in like Japan or China, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
you know, we've been drinking a bit, pacing ourselves, but Mom
Sure.
comes up to us and she's like, "Woo, those margaritas in Texas."
Margaritas in
Well, no, so
Texas.
she comes over and she's very happy at this moment. We're like, oh, you okay? And she's like, yeah, I had some margaritas in Texas.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Which,
What a thing to do with your family.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
There's no Texas though in Epcot. It
No.
was Mexico.
It was Mexico. Margaritas in Mexico.
Mexico.
Not Texas.
But
That's the best part.
They also do like a tequila tasting in the Mexico pavilion. Yeah, see, look
Oh,
at
yes.
that.
Can I just go to Mexico?
I can definitely tell you this. Speaking of Mexico, the best margarita I ever had was
Oh, yeah.
in Mexico, and it was the very first one we had, and nobody ever could recreate it, even at that same resort. The
Yeah.
first guy we checked into our rooms, we walked down those huge that huge staircase that went down into like the big open area where there was a bar sitting there, and we walked up and we're like, we'll have some margaritas because we literally had just arrived, and it was fantastic, and there wasn't a single person at that resort that could duplicate it.
No, but I think
Wow.
the best thing about it was legitimately fresh lime juice, tequila, and like some sort of simple syrup or something. Like 3 ingredients, so simple, so good.
And credit where credit is due, Pastor Robin makes a killer
Oh,
margarita.
she does.
I've been told. I've never had one.
So when we did, she had when she had that little like party thing at her house in Gretna.
Yeah.
You know, soon after that she
She
came to
moved
St.
in, yeah.
Andrews. Yeah. You know, we had heard her talk about that, and yeah, she made them, and it's like, this is fantastic.
They were so
I'm like,
good.
my pastor makes a better margarita than your pastor.
Well, she makes a better. Honestly, she makes a better drink than almost any pastor.
I mean,
That's why she's perfect for St.
Yeah.
Andrews.
Yep.
That's why she's perfect for me.
hey,
I'll
for
tell you that.
every 4 Presbyterians, there's always a 5th.
Nice.
That's what I hear.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, Pastor Robin was the first guest we had on.
Yeah.
When we started this whole thing. I mean, we're coming up. It's now officially been a year since the indecent proposal, and you know the beginning of planning what this would look like.
Yeah, when was that?
That was like
It was
November.
like now.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember the date I didn't know if
It
it was
was
in like
sometime in
October, November.
It was November,
Yeah,
and
it
the
was
only
like
reason I
November.
can remember the date is, iPhoto puts the date on it.
Oh,
Well, this
yeah,
is when the
right.
photo was taken.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But it was somewhere in like the November 20s. And
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I can't believe that was a year. Because actually, when you guys were just talking now, I was like, "Oh my gosh, we need to plan the 1 year anniversary episode." I mean, that's coming up really quickly.
I was figuring that was going to be the closing of season 1. Because, I mean, we had Pastor Robin as a first guest. We've had you two take over as the Sober Kitties.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Which people love, by the way.
Oh my goodness. And it's so much fun.
People do seem to love it.
Yeah, they do. So, Kenny, our wives are loved more than us.
There
I mean,
are
can you blame them?
There
Yeah.
are weeks when, admittedly, I could get out from behind the microphone for a little while because it gets to be a lot.
Well, and you've got a lot. That's
But I
Yeah.
mean, I still want to, going forward. We talked about some on location stuff.
Yes.
Seeing as how this is kind of it is what the premise of the show is, or not the show, but this podcast.
Yeah, that's an eventual that we want to get to. Definitely.
Yeah, and I have, we have an idea for some local spots, and we have one in particular that we have a connection at, and I think that hopefully will be the first one. So maybe we can get that done,
It'd be super cool.
early in the year.
Well, on the episode we did with Becky, even after we were scheming a little bit about what would it look like if we set up a booth at some summer things here local and just said, hey,
Oh yeah.
come talk to us for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
It would be outside and public, so I mean we couldn't
That's
drink,
okay.
but you could do something like, hey, we've got iced tea.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. And I think this is what I like about this podcast is it's very informal. You guys don't it's kind of become a thing now. And this wasn't planned. And this is how this happens. You kind of morph into it, but you're opening. You've got, the intro music and things like that. But then you roll right into a conversation, which is kind of not normal in the podcasting world. So you've already got that going for you. I understand you have drinks normally, but you don't have to. But my point is that the rules of podcasting can really go out the window, especially for circumstances like I'm at a festival or, things like that. Just preface it hey, maybe we don't have drinks today, or hey, maybe the audio quality is not what you're expecting. Kind of like what we did with yesterday.
But I mean, you guys could even sit down with a cooler of sodas, lemonades, waters, whatever, and say, hey, take a drink and have a seat.
Yeah.
And just let's talk. Let's get to know each other.
Yeah. And do maybe a mocktail, a fun mocktail. Why did you turn your computer monitor with Facebook up towards us?
Well, I can probably get rid of that, but
What are we looking at?
no,
I don't know.
A bunch of Penn State fans.
No, I realized that I felt disconnected from Mel.
I'm over here in this
Oh.
corner.
Because the monitor was I could
I
see
felt disconnected from you. Here's my Facebook page.
I could see a quarter of her face, and it was all right.
I'm
this is
leaning
weird.
over here.
I this is weird. So yeah, if you're I have upgraded if you've listened to some other episodes, I've upgraded the desk setup. As Rob has told me, I had the little boy desk, and now I have a big boy desk.
I don't think I called it the little boy desk. I think I called it something else.
I don't know what you call it.
Great. I can't wait to listen to that episode.
But
That was in
yes.
the past.
Yikes.
It's somewhere in the backlog.
So now it's a full blown actual real desk. I have a monitor over here because once I started using the 13-inch, I think it is 13-inch MacBook, I'm like, well, shit, my eyes aren't very good. I need a bigger screen, especially for running the radio.
Do you need a
show.
bigger screen or less drinks?
No, the drinks have nothing to do with it. My
or a
eyes just
better eyeglass prescription.
Well, I don't have a prescription at all. The CVS provides me my eyeglasses.
Yeah, he's got the cheaters or the readers or whatever you want to call them.
Cheaters. That's
Cheaters.
I mean,
Do you remember that show?
yes. Have you ever watched that? Oh my God, you must watch.
You've
Watch
never
what?
seen
Hold on.
Cheaters?
Cheaters,
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
gumshoes.
Gumshoes.
Nope.
I don't think I've even heard of this, but now
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh.
think we need to watch whatever
Oh,
this
it's
is.
amazing.
Wow, we definitely
Well,
morphed into something
okay.
else.
So fine, if we're gonna address that, you need to watch The Office now.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. I'll trade off.
I mean, consider it therapy for post your company you came out of.
Oh, I
Oh,
do
it's
need
hilarious. It's
therapy.
great.
from
It,
that.
it will be therapy.
You mean the company that I'm currently in?
Yes.
Yeah, the company that you were a top dog in, definitely.
Lots of different things though about our experiences,
Yeah.
at least currently.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences.
Yeah. No, Cheaters was a half hour ish show, I think. So basically the premise was you've got this guy that's hosting it, and it's like a private investigator show for spouses or significant others thinking that the other one is cheating on them. And they hire somebody to follow them. And they follow them. They always find them cheating. And then Gumshoes is who's hired.
Gumshoes.
Yeah, they call him Gumshoes. And
totally true.
so they always find them cheating in a scenario. They get caught and they show the confrontation. It's amazing.
I think I remember it. So looking it up, it was in the early 2000s. I
Yes.
think I remember.
And it would
Yeah.
air later at night, 10,
Yeah.
11 o'clock on
Yeah.
whatever network. And Nell's dad and I used to drink and watch Cheaters. And it was amazing.
They did. They used to sit in the garage so he could
Yes.
smoke a cigar.
Yes.
And you guys would watch Cheaters. But the way that they showed it, I mean, it was very they took it super seriously.
Oh.
Gumshoes is arriving at the house. And
Goodness.
it was really funny how they did it. And I think it was filmed in Dallas or something. but
It's
they need to bring that back.
It was more comedy than it was anything. Be like, come on, this is not real.
I know.
Oh, it's in the class of reality TV. So.
It kind of was a very early type of reality television, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
You really want to because it was staged. I mean, you're not.
Well, I mean, that's-
literally not doing this
Yeah.
every week.
That's the era of Survivor as well. So I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
the beginning rise of it.
Yeah, Survivor. Oh my gosh, I remember Temptation Island, which they brought back recently. But I used to watch Temptation Island. I would get so mad. I would get angry when I watched that show because these people were put on this island and they were being tempted and being ultimately unfaithful. And I was like, no, don't cheat, don't do it. Oh, I would get so mad. Anyway, I don't know how. Never mind.
I don't know. How did we get here?
I don't know.
How did
That's
we
the
get?
question we ask every time. How did
we get here?
There's
I think that you
alcohol
need to
involved.
rename the podcast to "How Did We Get Here."
That would be great. At least the
No, you know
tagline.
what? That's yours and Nell's podcast. How did we get here? Why are we married to these idiots?
Oh wow, that's such a good idea.
No.
I just got a good idea. So yeah.
All right, what's Ken's good idea? It's
Yeah.
less dangerous than
Like,
mine.
that's going to be the title of this episode. How did we get here?
Oh, I thought the title was "This
okay.
is recorded for your quality assurance" or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
You're-
Well, ultimately, I named the episode
Dun,
with
dun,
no
dun.
supervision.
This podcast has been recorded for quality assurance purposes.
But yeah,
And Kenny and I are still safe.
Yeah, we are
Ish.
still.
For the moment.
We are. We
We'll
are
see.
still
We'll see at
safe.
the end.
But yeah, man.
So where we were talking about some of the ideas of moving out from and being on location with
Yes.
different spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
How we got to Cheaters, I don't know.
I don't know.
You've listened to this. Hit rewind and tell us.
Tell us how we got here. Yeah, I personally like the idea of doing some on location stuff because I feel like that drums up interest in people go and they've never heard of. They're like, what is that? But we've talked about this. We definitely talked about this on the last episode, and I think we've talked about it before. The banner sort of thing. What do they call? What's the official name for that? Like if you have something that wraps around like a table.
Oh, yeah, just a
What's the
tablecloth.
name of that? That has a real name though, right?
Like
Oh, it does?
skirt? Like we
Uh-huh.
what are you talking about?
Or so sandcastle. Pete has the sandcastle wrap that goes around like a table.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Not the one for the photo ops. That's
The
called
step
some-
and repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The one that just wraps around a table. It's like
Okay.
if you take like a folding table.
It's like a
Yeah.
table skirt.
to an event.
Okay,
Yeah, like a
yeah,
table
yeah.
skirt,
I think
so
that's
to
what they
speak.
call it at trade
Like
shows.
that would be the first thing to get for the podcast if you're going to go on location. 'Cause you can set up
Absolutely.
a table,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you put that up, and then people are like, "What is the drunk squirrel?" And be like, "Well, why don't you come over and find out?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's a microphone, here's a drink. You okay with this? So I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents took me and the cousins and my siblings into Pittsburgh. And mom and dad were home and all the aunts and uncles and everybody was home. So we're walking around downtown and it had to be by the Kaufman Building. KDKA was set up with a microphone, and they were doing live segments on location. We got a chance to get in line and be on the radio.
Oh,
and,
that's cool.
You know, this was in the era when Grandpa had the bag cell phone.
Oh my
he's
god.
trying to call all the aunts and uncles and say, hey, you know, we're going to be on the radio on KDKA. Listen in, you'll hear the kids.
That was
That's
very
cool.
that was very innovative at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back then, yeah.
And I
for sure.
remember that. And as a kid, I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm going to be on radio. And now we could do something like that, just setting up and say, hey, here's the podcast. Here's the tentative air date. It's just going to be a segment show, sitting down and having 5-minute conversations.
It's so simple to do anymore with technology.
Oh, yeah.
It really is so simple to accomplish this. And it's just like, I think it'd be a cool way to, especially locally, just to get the name out there a bit. And, you know, I think some places would be on board
Oh, definitely.
if you actually reached out. The first one that we'll attempt to do, we have an in for, so I feel like that's our get in the door, and then maybe we can continue it.
Well, and hey, I mean, we are the fastest growing podcast on the East Coast, so
That's what I hear.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I hear. Look, we don't make this up. That's just what I hear.
exactly. By the way, what are our numbers? Maybe don't tell me, but
That's a good
that's
question. I
probably
need to
something we
look.
should look at soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I avoid looking at those things because I honestly don't want to know sometimes because I want to continue to have fun with this and not be like, oh,
I
crap,
know what you mean.
nobody's listening, or oh, crap, tons of people are
Too
listening.
many people, yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for here? Ignorance is bliss.
Bliss.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ignorance is bliss.
so I mean but that's one of the things where it's even going past that local. We could begin to in the future plan. Okay, hey, let's go and do
100%.
like a one-day location up in New York, up in
Rob, that's not stopping at local. I'm looking at, I honestly, if you want to, I'm looking at Pat McAfee as a business model for what he has grown. Look at what he has grown his thing to be. Like he's completely massive, and he grew it from. Yeah, he was a kicker in the NFL. Like I get all those things.
That helps.
But he was a kicker. It wasn't like he was the quarterback of the Cowboys. He was a kicker for the Colts. So he didn't have a massive platform. But look at what he has done for himself.
Okay, so wait a minute. So where we are in this moment, I have to ask a question then, Ken. Which of us is going to go and be the cheater and find a singer and date said singer to boost our podcast?
Oh,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on.
That's going to be you.
All of a sudden, I'm back and paying attention.
Hold on.
It's
Wait,
not,
is this like a how to lose a guy in 10
it's
days?
not going to
type
be
thing?
me.
Oh, my goodness. Yikes.
Come on, I had to throw that
So
out
I will
there.
say, I did listen to New Heights. That's what we were talking about before he started dating.
And you've been
okay?
listening to it more
And
than
I-
the drunk squirrel.
No. Because, okay, hold on. He's saying this because
How many
I
episodes
follow
are
a
you
bunch
behind?
of different things on TikTok, and their podcast has TikToks, and so you can see the whole entire podcast essentially just by watching like a couple minute segments here and there. And so that's how I've been doing it, and not just because they have information on the pop singer, okay, but because of the fact that I actually enjoy like him and his brothers, like conversations. They make their platform in the NFL very like it's just it's good. Like I enjoy it. It makes them seem more relatable, and not just because like he's dating, the pop sensation at the moment. Okay.
Yeah. I think relatable is, you use that word relatable, right?
Yeah.
I think people love relatable. I love relatable.
Yeah.
When I'm like, if it's something, if I'm listening or watching, YouTube is the same way for me. Like if it's relatable, I dig it. If it's not, I kind of lose interest in it a little bit sometimes.
Well, and that's a big portion of the cornerstone of what this podcast is trying to be. If look, we don't care who, where, or what, just come have a drink, and
Right.
we can engage in that moment. We can walk away and never talk again, or
You never know
Best
where a
friendship
connection,
ever, yay.
yeah, a connection could be created, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. I don't think that people think about it, and maybe they're like weirded out by that idea, but then they don't have to participate.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is. But if you if you actually want to know some numbers, I just pulled some numbers up. That's why I wasn't paying attention originally until we had the how to lose a guy in 10 days moment.
I think that's how to lose a guy in less than 10 days.
I know.
I gotta be honest with you. So yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we're gonna do this live on the podcast. So
I
okay.
mean, we're recording
I
our
feel like we
strategy
need to-
session.
You know,
right?
this is where we're being, Rob. This is where we're being 100% transparent with our listeners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know if you're listening or not.
I feel like we need a drum roll for this.
Oh, that's gonna sound terrible. All right.
Holy
so
crap.
you have at exactly 56,500 downloads in the past year since you've done this.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Holy crap.
I don't know what the.
Sorry,
I
she
don't know
scrolled
what's-
down and I saw that on the screen. It was. What?
To be fair, I don't compare this to other podcasts, so I don't know what's good or what's not good, and I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know it's a really big number.
Yes, that's a lot of people,
Yeah.
or a lot of downloads, I should say,
Yeah.
because that is so you have currently 17 subscribers. That means that you have 17 people that have hit the subscribe.
Yeah,
button,
that
I
are
guess you
getting
could say.
notifications.
On any,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's on any platform that they're listening on, right?
Yes, that's on every platform. Obviously not YouTube, but Apple, Spotify, Google. Google, by the way,
Is going
going
away.
away. It's going to be going only to YouTube.
I mean, that makes sense because they
Which-
own YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings me to another point here for
Oh,
the strategy session.
We're prettier behind mics than in front of cameras.
No, that's okay because this can be. Wait, that's not what I said.
No! What we're going to do is we're going to superimpose our voices over the girls talking, so it'll be our
Oh
voices
my
and their pretty
goodness.
faces.
Yeah, because they're definitely prettier than we are. That's a fact.
That sounds really awkward.
That would be the best thing ever.
People are gonna be like, "This something about this doesn't
no,
match."
No.
There's pretty in this room, and it's not Rob and I. I'm telling you that. Yep. So, cheers to that,
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not wearing any makeup,
cheer-
so it's also not me.
Rob. Cheers to outkicking your coverage. I think we've had that conversation.
Absolutely, and 1,000%.
So no, this is kind of what I'm thinking. So you don't have to have video to be on YouTube.
Yeah, we can do the logo or something that is.
You can definitely do something like that. You can have a static image. You can have rolling images. It's fine because honestly, so YouTube podcasts is becoming a really big thing. And they're also, the algorithm is pushing podcast playlists because
Makes
of
sense.
what's coming. And I think it would be really, really smart in the new year to get on YouTube.
Okay, we'll have to look into what that entails.
I mean, just creating a channel and setting it up and
Yeah, I mean, well, that's where.
Aren't
I mean,
you guys the YouTubers?
Yeah.
I mean, Nell's an expert.
I feel like we can figure this one out.
Nell is an expert. Admittedly, Nell has created and driven our entire YouTube channel, so that's a fact. So I know that it obviously can be done. I don't know what it entails. We'd have to have that conversation, and we'd
Honestly,
have to dig a little bit behind the scenes. But
All you'd
Yeah.
have to do is take that audio and attach it to a static clip in Final Cut and upload a video. That's all you have to do.
yeah, as she says, there's no problem.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just normal.
Yeah. Mhm,
I mean, that's just
absolutely.
shit. That's just shit you do on Tuesday afternoon.
Well, yeah, it is. No, it wouldn't be. You could do it. Like, you could do it. You edit all these episodes. You could absolutely do it. You'd edit the audio, and then you just drop that into Final Cut with the static photo, and that's it.
Well, and I've done stuff like that for the
Yeah.
church, so
It's totally
not-
doable. The only thing, the extra work would come from like SEO and all the things to get people to, be drawn to the actual episodes and your channel.
Yeah.
yeah, but that would be something that once it's set up, it would be fairly static, maintainable. Or
No, it
Okay.
wouldn't be because you've got a different subject. There's keyword research and tags and all of that stuff. But fortunately, considering we run a media company, we do have access to things that can help us with that. So.
Yeah. I just need to quit my job and just do this.
Well,
How amazing would that be?
okay, I think that was kind of part of why she sold you into this a year ago, trying to get you to the
Pimp me
point.
out.
Yeah,
I mean, at some point, that'd be nice.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, that's what, when there's a platform that's pushing anything,
yeah.
they tend to they make that first and foremost. So I think initially it would be a very easy thing to do because, YouTube would be like, oh, podcast, boom. You know what I mean?
Especially if that's what they're going to put the priority on with things like going away with Google Podcast and whatnot, where it's YouTube will have a whole podcast section now.
They do. They already do. It's basically when you're uploading a video, you can choose to upload it to wherever, just your channel or a specific playlist. And that specific playlist can be a podcast. There's a special podcast playlist that you can upload to. So I'm actually working with one of my clients now and experimenting with that. So Google owns YouTube. So this is what they're going to push algorithmically. Is that a word? They're going to push YouTube podcasts. And you can still, even in your car while you're driving, just put your phone on, have the YouTube video up, but listen to it as audio. You don't have to watch. It's totally fine.
It's also one of the reasons I feel like that Google is pushing YouTube podcasts, because a good point that you just brought up was that you can just listen to it in the car, right? You don't have to have the video up. So if you have regular YouTube you don't have the YouTube premium or whatever it is.
Headphones down.
Anyway.
Man down.
That was me.
If your phone goes, if you just turn your phone, turn the screen off, the audio stops. But if you have YouTube Premium, it does not. So I wonder a little bit if there's part of that wrapped up into it, where YouTube's like,
I'm sure.
If we get people doing these podcasts and people listening to them, will more people pay for YouTube Premium because you can turn your screen off and it'll still play. Because right now, if you're watching a video, you turn your screen off, it stops. It stops. The audio stops. Everything.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thought.
Well, that's for them to figure out.
Yeah, not us.
It's also another opportunity for a revenue stream, because if I'm just looking at the numbers here. So you've got your most popular episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is Who is the Drunk Squirrel, your first one.
That's always been that way, and I find it wild.
It also has to do with the fact that it's the oldest, so it's had more time to accrue listenership. But you've got 3,365 downloads on that one. So if you accrue that to viewership, technically on YouTube, that if you're monetizing, that's good.
Yeah.
And, getting to that monetization point, which YouTube changed the requirements for that this year, but it's not that great. It's not that alluring. So I'd still stick to the, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours and things like that. But you've got enough episodes now and enough listenership where this could really add up, and you could get to that point of monetization. You'll get ad revenue, and then possibly even the chance for some sponsors. So it's just another outlet. Why are you acting like you're riding a horse? What is happening?
You got a little too happy.
Yeah. So, look, everybody knows
Bring them on.
It's super, super hard to make money from a podcast. 99% of podcasts themselves don't make money. Your money that you make from podcast is sponsorships and partnerships. So YouTube, though, is an opportunity to actually make money from your podcast. I'd say a better opportunity.
And we can just get some companies that give us free alcohol.
Well,
if that's what
That
you're
would be
in the
lovely.
market for, yeah.
Look, do you make alcohol? Send it to us. You make coffee? Send it to us. You make drinks? Send it to us. We'll try them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glassware, servingware, barware,
How
anything.
great would that be that you guys could get sponsors to send you alcohol? You could try it during your podcast,
Oh, absolutely.
and stuff like that. That would be a great opportunity
Reviews.
for them.
Definitely.
Just saying.
There's a YouTube channel that I watch, Crazy Quady. If you want to check him out. He does a live, right? And it's an hour, 2 hours long. Sometimes it just gets a little long, right? But anyway, so he does a live. He has a PO box. He has stacks of packages that people send him stuff, camping stuff, hot sauce, all sorts of
Coffee.
stuff.
That would be amazing
Coffee.
for Rob.
Beer.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on. I'm a hothead, so yes,
Yeah.
send hot sauce.
People send him stuff, and he opens the packages on the YouTube Live.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, people just send him stuff constantly. Just
Yeah.
free stuff.
So
cool.
coming out of this, because I can see the timer from here
Yes.
for a
I was
change.
about to be like, how am I going to segue into let's wrap this up?
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up.
But coming out of this, looking at season 2, there are a couple things that, I mean, in summary, we kind of want to move towards.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm saying this with Melinda and Nell in the room as,
Oh, boy.
as
Oh,
they're
no.
the
What's gonna
support.
happen?
And they're a huge part of
See,
what we
you're
do.
not safe.
No.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, you and the kids are what started this snowball, so you're along. Tough luck.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see what happens after this podcast.
Yeah, I love you too. All right. So, but looking at season 2, we want to be on location a little bit more, connecting with people.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a piece of
Yeah.
what Kenny and I want in this.
Kenny's not paying attention. He's texting.
Kenny is paying attention.
He's working on that singer.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So we want to be on location a little bit more. We want to move some things over, start up a YouTube channel potentially. Maybe that's something we're able to launch at season 2 start, maybe
It's
not.
definitely possible.
Yeah, we'll consult with our resident YouTube experts.
Expert.
Oh, stop.
Either way, the social media stuff, we really didn't touch on that.
No, we didn't. And I gotta be honest, like social media is not my jam. I don't like it. Like I'll just be frank.
It can be
Hold on.
a
Hold on.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, it can be. Don't you run a media company, and isn't that
I
part of
know.
what you do?
See, okay. So that's funny you actually bring that up because people do assume that. Like they just assume like, oh, media company, you do stuff with social media. What we do with social media is create videos that are optimized for social media. So that's the extent of the knowledge. So if you want like shorts or reels or something like that, there's a way to optimize them for their purposes on each platform. Now, I don't do, I'd like posting times and things like that. That's where I get kind of like, you know, it goes in one ear and out the other because I know you're supposed to keep engagement up by, you know, replying to comments and asking more questions. And like your post last night about the Christmas tree.
Oh, that was huge. That took off.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's so much engagement with it. I mean, there's a lot to learn about what people are looking for in social media, and each platform is different. So I think that requires a lot of research.
As of recording, we had 35 comments, and I
Jeez.
mean Steve and Nell, you commented, and Megan and
Well, and
Tina.
even like just the likes on the comments or the likes on the post
Yeah.
as well, that counts towards social engagement.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, like Vaughn and Michelle. I mean, all you guys out there listening and engaging, Jonathan and Craig. Yeah, Craig. Of course, Craig. And Bob. I mean, thank you guys for interacting. We love you. Post or interact with us more. We love getting a chance to connect.
Well,
I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah. Well, that being said, too, you know, this is a strategy session, but you as listeners, what do you want to hear? What do you want to see? And if you have thoughts and comments about what you'd like to see or hear, let us know.
Or even if you have like a favorite drink recipe or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like feel free to post it on the social media account
Or email it.
Yeah,
That's
whatever.
a
Yeah.
really great idea because we're always like, what are we drinking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We
So
burnt through all of our
you
favorites.
guys can
ideas.
tell
We have.
us what they're drinking.
Which, okay, on that one, disclaimer: we will not drink Cobra wine.
What is Cobra wine?
Well, yeah, we
That's
do.
that wine with a cobra in it.
Oh,
that's
no.
also
Yeah,
slightly
no.
hallucinogenic. We won't drink that.
No, thank you. You said hallucinogenic.
Slightly
no.
hallucinogenic.
No.
Yeah, we definitely do always reserve the right to be like, nah, we're not drinking that.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
there is a limit.
But we still want your ideas.
Yes, absolutely. And the Drunk Squirrel's email is
The Drunk Squirrel 82
at gmail.com.
Correct.
there. You go.
We covered that in the last episode.
Yes,
It'll be in the show notes too.
82 is most definitely not a year I remember because it's my wife's.
Whoa.
Whoa! Wow. You
Just
Yeah,
don't
but
do
we
the
are
math
safe.
in your head.
He apparently really does not want to survive after this podcast.
Well, don't worry. Just
I love
listen to the
you.
last episode.
I see the lasers. This is it.
The world
It's
will know
over.
it. The world will know your birth year on Monday.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now announce that there is a co-hosting position open with the Drunk Squirrel, and my funeral will be on Wednesday. Thank
One
you very
will be
much.
murdered.
If he's lucky enough to have a funeral, just saying.
Oh my
be no-
gosh.
Just put you in a bucket.
Oh, that's pretty much all I want.
It's going to be like a
Just toss me in
goldfish
the woods.
burial. Down the toilet you
Oh,
go.
that's gonna
Right.
clog the toilet. Don't do that.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Anyway.
All right. Let's. I don't have access to the time, but I think we should wrap it up.
I started this episode saying we were safe and we were here under our own free will. I don't know if that's how I'm finishing it.
And here, well, not
Things
you,
change.
certainly.
No.
And after Monday, all bets are off.
Yeah, that's true. But stay tuned because season 2 is going to be wilder and
Yeah.
Squirrelier.
Yeah,
Squirrelier,
squirrelier.
all
and
of those things.
There's plenty coming down the pipeline. And hey, you want to be on? Email us.
Yeah.
You want to participate? Interact. We love you guys.
Reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to The Drunk Squirrel. We'll catch you again in 2 weeks.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to The Drunk Squirrel. No need to pay a tab. Just be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a line, thedrunksquirrel82@gmail.com. Cheers.